Got another one here from a Blazers fan. Uh-oh. Comes to us from Doug. What's up, Nick? So glad that you're back on the tubes. Anyways, I'm a Portland Trailblazers fan. Oof. I know it's already been a rough year. I was expecting it to be tough, but I didn't expect injuries so early on in the season. Scoot being out for the past 3 games has sucked. This season needs to be a developmental year for our young guys like Shaden Sharp and Scoot, not to mention Anthony Simon's injury, and now Time Lord has season-ending knee surgery. I mean, damn. So sad to see these guys on the bench in their plaid suits because it's Portland. Do I need to add a question to this thing? What do you think the Blazers got to do with Brogdon or Grant for this roster to be in the best position long term? Trade them or keep them? There's a good question for the show. Much love, Doug. Thanks for the email here, Doug. Now, for context, the email was sent a few days ago, and at the time, I don't think when he sent this that the report had come out yet that Scoot is going to be missing even more time, that he's going to be out for an extended period of time. But that's where we're at with him now, so it kind of just makes things a little bit worse. And, honestly, what also doesn't help is in that first couple games that he got to play, I think it was the first 5 games, we didn't see that much. He passed the ball pretty well. In those last 2, I think he had 7 apiece. He shot a lot, and not that many of them went down. I don't think any of his threes went down. I think he made 2 of them. He probably put up 15. And that was kind of it. He kind of got decent minutes. I just pulled it up here. 35, 25, 26, 34, 20. Those are his minutes. Shot attempts, 11, 12, 7, 12, 10. He's not shooting a lot. I was a little bit hyperbolic there, but they're still not going in. So that's kind of tough to see because those growing pains, that's how you get to the end of the timeline, is you need those kind of stretches where these guys just got to figure it out, right? Killian's growth got stunted because of something like that in his first year. Even Cade was battling stuff in his first year, and then his second season last year, he played all of 10 games and then was done. And you lose so much crucial game experience when something like that happens. Believe me, as a Pistons fan, I understand what this feeling is like. I also understand what it's like to have Jeremy Grant as your quality veteran, as the veteran that has been anointed and chosen as the one to navigate you through the rebuild, because you got to pay someone. You got to pay someone. That payroll has to get filled up, and it was Jeremy Grant in this situation. I think the timeline when he signed this contract was he signed it, and then the Dame thing happened, the trade request went through, and everybody was like, oh, did Jeremy get screwed? He doesn't give a shit if he got screwed. He doesn't care if Damian Lillard's not there anymore. Look at that contract. Look how much money he's about to make. He does not care how many games Portland loses. Because you know what he sees? You know what Jeremy Grant sees? He sees 23 points a game. You want that insurance. You want a guy that it's okay, I guess if we need a bucket, we can go to him. We just did this with him in Detroit. The difference was when it came time to kind of push him out the door, with all due respect to Jeremy, it was just hey, all right, go on, go do something else now. It was always going to be a lot easier for us whenever we wanted to do that because he was only on a $60 million contract. Not really going to be able to do that now. Are you going to trade him for a bunch of expirings? Why would Portland do that? I mean, obviously there would be capital attached to it, but why would I trade for expirings? Because then it's just going to free up a bunch of cap space where I'm just going to go get a quality veteran like Jeremy Grant anyways. So you're probably going to be riding it out with him. No one's going to come get him for a long time. I don't even think Portland's going to bother calling for a long time. If there's a deal you can't say no to, sure, but I just don't imagine that materializing or manifesting. The Brogdon thing feels a little different. And the most diluted take I have about him, I am very aware that he's 30 years old, which, by the way, is not old, but if we're talking about NBA players, you're getting there, right? I'm convinced there's still a Hall of Famer in there. I know he's a 50, 40, 90 guy. I know if he really wanted to, he could put up 15 to 20 triple-doubles in a season. I know he could. But can he stay on the court long enough to do it? Can he play enough games to actually do that? That's what it'll come down to. I don't think he's meant for that roster at all. You know, you talk about Scoot Henderson, you talk about Anthony Simons, just how many guys, how many good guards they have up there. If you want Brogdon around just for the sake of, you know, showing these guys how to keep the ball on a string, sure. But I get it, dude. I get it. And what you're going through right now is a rebuild. Welcome. It does not go the way that you want it to go. It does not go quietly into the night. It's fucking loud. It's noisy. It's obnoxious. It's agonizing. And you will not be able to see that light at the end of the tunnel for a while. I'm not trying to be doom and gloom. I'm just trying to, like, as a Pistons fan who's been in the shit, who's been in the trenches for a few years now, I still have nights where I don't know if I see the light. I still have nights where I'm like, I know a lot of these players are quality NBA players, but does it happen here? Do they put it together separately elsewhere under a different coaching staff, under a different general manager, under a different coach? It gets scary. You're going to have those moments, especially when your season is derailed by injuries in November.
Computers now have primary control.
Beautiful, beautiful,
Primary control.
beautiful,
Primary control.
beautiful.
Primary control.